I would say the M.I.S culture is
opportunity, chaotic,
very welcoming,
well, real friendly,
very opening and welcoming,
very tight-knit, I would say, but like welcoming.
It's also very inclusive.
Inclusive.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Polley. I am the coordinator of the Music Industry Studies program here at the University of South Carolina.
I am Taylor Harding, Dean of the School of Music here at the university. In the back of my mind, I always knew that at some point we would need to consider a music industry program where we would attract students who did not have an interest in being performing musicians, but whose interest really was in recording, in retailing, in live production, in management, all sorts of the aspects of music that go beyond just performing or composing or conducting. There was an absolute student demand and need for the program that didn't exist. And we found that to be more true than we would have ever projected by virtue of the minor program. Students were in the minor and constantly telling the faculty, this was before Jeremy Polley was even hired, telling the faculty teaching in the minor, you know, if there was a major in this, we would change our majors to this.
We had our first semester back in the fall of 21. That was the first time we actually officially offered the M.I.S. as a major. The minor had been around for 4 or 5 years before that. The process of starting the major began in November of 2019 with a conversation between Dean Taylor Harding and myself at a conference. And I sat down and kind of brought my ideas to him, and he had been thinking about this apparently due to student demand.
And then all I really had to do in the conversations with him was to hear what his vision was for the coursework, and then to talk to him a little bit about his connections in the industry. And those two things just were absolute home runs. I was all in, and I was all in because I knew Jeremy.
The issue I had is we weren't training our students to be prepared for what the music industry looks like. Programs typically, when you look at them across the country, they offer you one of 3 options. You can be a recording engineer, and you're gonna learn to be the best recording engineer out there. You're gonna learn signal flow and off-board gear, and you're going to be certified in all these different things. You're going to work mixing and mastering projects till 4 a.m. And when you walk out of that building, you could step in any studio across the country and record a session. But you don't read contracts. You can't speak the language. You can't speak music to the musician on the other side of the glass. Or they're going to train you to be a fantastic musician who can play on stages across the world and be on the other side of the glass and be recording, but you won't know what the engineer is doing. You still understand contracts or negotiation or how to set up your own live shows or merch lines. Or the third option is we're going to teach you to be a music business person, where you're going to learn how to read contracts and negotiate rates and understand how processing works for things like trademarks and copyright, but you won't understand music. You won't do anything with music in terms of performing it, and you won't understand the mechanisms of how to create music. You should have the ability to speak the language across the board. You should have the ability to do anything in any area, because in reality, you will have to do everything in every area at some point in your career or another.
It went as efficiently as you could possibly imagine a degree could go. You can eat dinner off this curriculum, you know.
Curricula then becomes the vessel through which the experiential stuff happens.
What we have here, luckily, is a collection of folks that understand that tomorrow's musician and music professional has to be educated and trained and come through a different sort of collection of coursework and experiences than in the past.
The hard part is, how do we make an experience educational, right? And that is the hard part. But something you've felt, something you've done, something you've been a part of, that will never leave you.
One of my goals was to make sure that every faculty member, that every decision that they make is influenced not only by the music, which it has to be, of course, but is also influenced about what is the best thing to do for these students or this student for their future right now as I'm making this decision.
And my concern is always the students. What are the students getting out of this? I work really hard to make this program about the students and their experiences and what they do.
They've helped build this culture, and now we all enjoy it.
Really, it's a credit to the students more than anything else. The first few things we did went so amazingly well that it opened the doors. And that is only partially preparation on my part. It's just the students being incredibly engaged and passionate and eager to work.
I have been most proud of their individual and collective student industriousness?
The students are everything. And it's not just the students, it's the culture of the students. It is generating this group that I know I can put a project in front of them or an idea, and I can say, I want to see you do this by then. And they just do it. And they'll come to me with questions, and I'll provide guidance, and I'll always be there. But they are hungry to succeed. And if you want to succeed in the music industry, you have to be hungry. You have to want it.
The other way we observe this ensuring student success is to give students choice.
And that's how you cultivate the culture. You just let it grow. You give it opportunities. You feed it things. And then you encourage it.
I would describe the community as empowering and encouraging. You can tell that everybody in the M.I.S. program wants each other to succeed. You create friends, and all they want to do is just help each other out, bond together, so they can build a group to take on the music industry once we all graduate.
The sky's the limit, essentially. And the beautiful thing about what we're doing here is that Dean Taylor Harding 100% sees what we want to do. Our projections for this program had been by year 5, we'd have 25 students in the program at a pretty consistent rate. Entering year 3, we anticipate 110. So that shows that what we're doing here is effective, and it's what students want to see. You're always welcome to come out to our events and to come out to our hangs and to be a part of it, even on the side, because you don't have to make music to love music. And anybody who loves music is a vital part of that ecosystem.